Robyn Brown's home's living room was poorly lighted, resulting in lengthy, jagged shadows on the walls, unspoken comments, and the tension that had been building for months made the air feel heavy and thick. The noises of a big active family used to fill the house, but suddenly it seemed empty unquestionably. The absence of Christine, Janelle, and Mary had left a gap that Robyn could no longer deny, and that Kody would not admit. With his arms pulled tightly across his chest, Kody Brown paced the room back and forth. His ordinarily assured gait was tense and restless, as though he were attempting to flee the rage that was swelling within of him. Even though his golden curls bounced a little with every abrupt movement, the charming, fascinating man he previously was no longer visible due to the lines of frustration and tiredness on his face. Robyn observed Kody's unpredictable movements while sitting motionless on the couch with her arms crossed and her stance tight. Her dark eyes were closely examining him, while her lips were forced into a hard line. He was the same sullen, defensive, and irritated version of himself that she had seen previously. But tonight was different. Something is coming apart. Hey. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, U.S.A. shows. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let's dive into the latest drama. Aurora and Brianna stood side by side in the hallway, barely daring to breathe. Just outside the living room's illumination, they were able to observe the conversation between their parents without being seen thanks to the gap in the doorframe. It felt impossible to avoid listening in on the arguments these days, even though they weren't allowed to. The eldest of the two, Aurora, shifted uneasily, her fingers clutching the hem of her big sweater. Her voice was hardly heard as she murmured, "He's been like this for weeks. He's just different since Christine left. Anger is constant." Brianna wrapped her arms over herself, her eyes wide with discomfort. "Mom looks really tired," she said. "What if she's the next one?" Kody exhaled sharply as he returned to the living room, halting his pacing to turn and confront Robyn. He raised his hands in exasperation, his eyes burning with frustration. "Why no one listens to me anymore is beyond me," he cried, raising his voice just enough to cause Brianna and Aurora to wince in the corridor. "What do I receive in exchange for the sacrifices I make for this family? Inconsiderate. I just ask that you turn off the lights when no one is there, and all of a sudden I'm the villain." Robyn took a deep breath and blinked slowly before speaking. Her tone was calm and measured, but there was a hint of something sharp in the back of her voice. She stated bluntly, "Kody, you're not really upset about the lights. All the other things have you furious regarding Christine's departure, about Janelle's retreat, about Mary's decision to be done at last, but rather about addressing that you're getting upset about stuff like light switches, unwashed dishes, and someone failed to properly close the refrigerator door." Kody's expression grew gloomy. At his sides, his hands clenched into fists, not out of aggression, but out of exasperation. His jaw tensed as he ran a hand over his hair with a sour growl. He said, "You always take their side. You continue to protect them in spite of everything they've done." "Robyn, what about me? How difficult this has been for me. Do you even give a damn?" Robyn's face remained unchanged. This was what she had anticipated. This was just difficult for you, she stated plainly. "Kody, you're not alone in your pain." Kody laughed bitterly and mocked, "Really? For I really do feel like the only person who cares about what's happening to this family." Brianna and Aurora looked at each other in the corridor. Their father had previously shown signs of distress, but Knight's tone was different, something that chilled them to the bone. Robyn narrowed her eyes and cocked her head slightly, quietly but firmly. She said, "What family, Kody? The family you ejected, the wives who spent years feeling ignored? Or are you referring to the children who no longer even recognize you?" Kody winced as the words struck him more forcefully than he had anticipated. He parted his lips to defend himself and to argue, but nothing came out. A glimmer of uncertainty appeared on his face for a moment, but he pushed it away and refused to accept it. Rather, he let out a quick sigh and shook his head. The children, he whispered to himself. Obviously, the children are always the focus. Robyn felt something break for the first time that night. She straightened her posture and leaned forward, her hands clutching the material of her pants. Indeed, Kody, it's about the kids, she retorted, her tone more Eric. Because they are the ones who witness everything. Every conflict is heard by them. Every ounce of this stress is felt by them. They're afraid. And are you even aware of your own transformation? Do you really believe they are unaware of your constant anger, that you're far away, that you lose your temper with them over little matters? The look on Kody's face wavered for a brief while his expression changed, as though he was starting to realize something. But as swiftly as it appeared, it vanished, hidden beneath the barriers he had erected around himself. Brianna tightened her hold on her sweater from the hallway, her heart thumping in her chest. She swallowed hard. This was not what she wanted to hear. She didn't want to believe that her parents were divorcing in front of her. Kody shook his head and laughed without amusement. In a sarcastic tone, he questioned, "So what now? You're also betraying me?" Something in Robyn's own manner changed, and she exhaled slowly. Something heavy had taken in the place of the rage that had been draining from her, something more depressing. She gazed at Kody for a while, absorbing the man in front of her, the man who once pledged love, family, and harmony. The man now appeared to be unfamiliar. Her voice was hardly audible above a whisper as she confessed, "I'm tired, Kody, and truthfully, I have no idea what we is anymore." The kind of suffocating silence that becomes like an unshakable weight on your chest. Aurora and Brianna recoiled in the corridor, feeling that something permanent had just occurred, something that was irrevocable, as though seeing Robyn for the first time in years. Kody stood still and gazed at her, his mouth opened slightly, but he remained silent. She had just spoken something that he wasn't prepared to face, not quite yet. Perhaps never. The house was dreadfully silent now, where there had once been love, laughing, and the commotion of a polygamous family. And like the last irreversible fissure in the foundation of what remained of their marriage, an unspoken truth settled between them in that silence. And there's more. Sister wives in the new trailer. Mary Brown wonders if she has been duped throughout the years, suggesting that her relationship with Robyn Brown may be gone in the second half of season 19. The bond between Sister Wiv stars Robyn Brown and Mary Brown is being tested. Although the reality stars used to have a strong relationship since the former broke up with patriarch Kody Brown, simmering tensions have emerged in new episodes, starting on April 20th in the mid-season trailer released on March 20th. Mary stated, "I had this bond with her. Now that I think about it, why do you say you want to date me?" And then just disappear. The 54-year-old, who has a 29-year-old son named Leon Brown, with Kody, acknowledged that many close to Robyn have always had doubts about her motives, particularly after Mary consented to a formal divorce from Kody. In order for Robyn to wed him, there are so many people who are like she was a liar. Mary continued in the clip. She was playing tricks, but Robyn, the only surviving wife in Kody's polygamous marriage, doesn't think so, she declared. Even when people were ignoring Mary and conspiring against her, I always had her back. It's evident that the sister wives, Christine Brown and Janelle Brown, are becoming more antagonistic as a result of the impending sale of the Brown family's Flagstaff, Arizona complex. Coyote past the 55-year-old Janelle clarified, "I can't completely move on as long as that property remains a source of contention." Kody's first wife, Mary, is now prepared to file a lawsuit to save her assets as well. She informs Janelle, "I'm going to have to get some lawyers involved. This is one of the things I will fight for," among other things. In a confessional, Kody stressed, "I'm not trying to rip you off, Mary. It's also evident that the 56-year-old Feely, his relationship with Robyn, 46, has made him a simple target for his ex-partners. I'm so sick and tired of being guilt for loving Robyn, he said, despite the sale of Coyote Pass. Robyn, the mother of Dayton Brown, 24, Aurora Brown, 22, and Brianna Brown, 19, from her first marriage, is seen by the other sister wives as having contributed to the breakup of Kody and Mary's relationship. Christine, 52, claimed that because Kody was already legally married to Mary, she planned for them to get divorced when he married Robyn in a spiritual ceremony. She started talking to us about these other families, where the first wife divorced the husband so he could marry the second wife legally and legally adopt the kids, Christine said in the episode on December 29th. Yes, I recall thinking that's a plant, she said, like she was putting that in there because she would have loved that to happen, recalling that Robyn had brought up the notion several times through the years. Mary didn't feel like the idea was planted, according to Christine, who is now married to David Woolley. Even Janelle, though, acknowledged that Mary's decision to divorce Kody was surprising because she would suddenly be legally alone. The legal marriage really seemed very important to Mary. Janelle clarified, "I was actually sort of speechless when she told us that she was actually doing it, because I thought Mary would never do this." Continue reading for more shocking revelations from the most recent sister wife season. Shortly after their 1990 vows, Kody Brown declared he was prepared to separate from his first wife, Mary Brown. However, Mary said in the September 15th premiere that he led me to believe that he would work on things by saying, "Oh, Mary, when we moved to Flagstaff, this will be a good time to have a new beginning for us," alluding to their 2018 relocation. As if he had convinced me of those things. He has been doing this for a very long time. Her primary complaint, she stated, is his lack of communication and how he really felt and what he really wanted or what he really didn't want, and the story that he's been telling for all these years. Also, Kody admitted that there might have been mixed messages, but only because he added, "I'm like, why would I do this?" When he began to work on things, I would not court and date her now in any case. When Mary finally pulled the plug in early 2023, her pals were ecstatic. They say, "All right, we're backing you in here for you." Additionally, it's about darn time, she admitted. She now believes that he had been attempting to get her to leave him for years by claiming he didn't love her, because if he can push me out and I leave, he's not the bad guy because he didn't walk away. In the season premiere, Kody said that he was prepared to let the idea die years after the family had bought the 14-acre plot of land in Flagstaff, Arizona, on which they intended to build, unable to construct without paying the entire $820,000 price tag, which the family allegedly did in 2023, he said to Robyn Brown, his surviving wife. "I'd almost rather scrap it or sell it and then just start again somewhere else. I can't talk about that," she said in reference to Robyn. "That is so not where I'm at." Janelle Brown, the second wife, previously told E! News that we just kind of started to grow apart, but in the end she left because of Kody's shortcomings as a dad to several of his children, the mom told Logan Brown, Madison Brown, Brush Hunter Brown, Garrison Brown, Gabriel Brown, and Savannah Brown. "The big spark for me was when his relationship broke down with my children, and he didn't seem like he would move heaven and earth to fix it. And I thought, okay, that was what was really holding me here." Janelle refused to entertain the possibility of reconciliation, even when Kody brought it up in the November 3rd episode. "I don't know how I would ever reconcile with him and have him not have a relationship with my kids," she stated. "No, I'm going to always choose my kids." That was Kody's justification for not trying harder to patch up the problems he was having with some of his grown children. "I don't fit in the family anymore," he complained in the episode that aired on September 15th. "And then I have some relationship with some of the other kids, and it's infrequent," he said, explaining that he was still totally married 5 children together: Dayton, Aurora, Brianna, Solomon, and Ariella Brown. "What should I do with all of this? I ask myself it's not a family-like atmosphere. We're probably doing the worst we've ever done in our marriage. Robyn admitted in the season 19 premiere. Even though they were being totally monogamous for the first time in their 14-year marriage, between us things have been difficult. He isn't sure if he or one of the other women is to blame. Are you going to reject me to Kody? Seems to be gazing at me. Because he's experiencing a lot of rejection, she consequently disclosed I'm on my toes. I have to constantly check to make sure. Eve isn't ruining our connection. There's no resource to help with the idea that I'm still married to a man who's going through divorces, she said, summarizing. The most difficult aspect, I can't look myself in the mirror and say, hey dude. Kody shared, expressing a crisis of confidence. I cherish you. Seeing her former sister wives enjoy their new era was difficult for Robyn. They're all moving on, she said on the episode that aired on October 27th. I feel like the idiot that got left behind to the list of children Kody isn't currently seeing. Had Madison's oldest daughter during the premiere. Janelle clarified, I am aware that Maddie has not spoken to her father. She doesn't have a relationship with Robyn, and neither of them has phoned him. She is essentially dismissed both of them. Kody's shaky relationship with Mad's children, Axel, Evangeline, and Josephine, is the problem according to Janelle. She doesn't really want him to have any contact unless he can commit to it. In the September 22nd episode, Janelle revealed that as the family began to truly fall apart, Kody did sort of cut off communication with Maddie and her husband, Caleb Brush, whose sister was married to Kody's brother. Maddie has been mama bear to the extreme. Janelle continued, since Kody hasn't been paying her any visits or calls, she has felt like until he can be consistent and show up and not be dramatic, that she feels like it's probably better if they don't know about him. Robyn added that she has been pushing Kody to make amends, but she also stated, I think the kids should be doing the same thing to the sister wife. Star Janelle Brown is honing her communication skills while fighting with her ex-husband Kody Brown over the sale of Koyode. Past the two recently became grandparents again after Madison Brown Brush gave birth, but Kody doesn't seem ready to mend the rift just yet. Before Janelle left the polygamous Brown family, she and Kody had been married for almost 30 years after Christine Brown left. First then Mary Brown, she left as well, leaving Kody with only Robyn Brown as a wife in an effort to better her life. In 2025, the Sister Wives season 19 star is currently undergoing what she refers to as a detox. Janelle posted an Instagram story revealing the next conversation. Argue Less Talk More by Jefferson Pfizer, a new book she plans to begin reading. Janelle said that she has been following Jefferson on Instagram and was thrilled to acquire his book, claiming to be a lover of his work. Jefferson's website describes him as a trial lawyer, author, and keynote speaker who teaches them how to argue less and talk more in order to improve communication. Janelle seems to be preparing for a conflict with Kody and wants to make sure she has the resources necessary to do it, having spent several years living with Kody. Janelle has a decent understanding of his communication style, or lack thereof. It has been witnessed by fans on Sister Wives. Janelle is preparing to defend herself because Kody can hit below the belt when he gets defensive when trying to convey information. A skilled communicator considers the fact that one party may not receive the information effectively, which frequently leads to communication failure. A more deliberate approach to communicating can be beneficial because there is no need in sending a message if it cannot be received. Of all the wives, Janelle has always been the least combative. She prefers to live a quiet life and stay in her lane, but Janelle needs to improve her communication skills when the stakes are as high as they are in the entire Koyode Pass case. Janelle should at least get ready for conflict even though she probably doesn't need to prepare for war. Janelle's article about the new book she purchased reveals her current state of mind following her breakup with Kody. Janelle is probably feeling better physically than ever following a significant detox, and she has great plans ahead of her given all the uncertainties surrounding her ownership. In Coyote, past the situation may be different on an emotional level in the past few years. Janelle has experienced a great deal, including the untimely death of her son Garrison Brown. Although she has moved to North Carolina, she still has unresolved business. It's interesting to see Janelle reading books like The Next Conversation to make sure she's taking care of her mental health and making plans for the future while she grieves and takes the time to fully recover from her marriage to Kody. I think the angry remark made by sister wives Maddie Brushney Brown was aimed at her father Kody Brown. Maddie, who was born in North Carolina, made her sister wives debut alongside her family. At the age of 15, she was a supporting cast member who became close to Robyn. Brown Kody's fourth wife Maddie even began calling Robyn Birdie, and Robyn responded by being encouraging and giving guidance it pleased me to see. Maddie make a connection with a family member at such a significant juncture in her life, unfortunately, when Maddie grew older and became aware of the negative effects of her father's polygamous marriages. Her connection with Robyn deteriorated at Maddie, like me, and a lot of other viewers didn't like how her father Kody treated her mother Janelle. She began concentrating on her future and cut off ties with several of her family members. Maddie left the family home at an early age and married Caleb Brush in 2016, moving to North Carolina. She eventually had 4 kids of her own, but she kept in touch with her mother, Janelle, which made me very happy. I think that for the last 5 years Maddie and Kody's relationship has gotten worse in the most recent seasons. They seem to be pretty far apart, maybe because they no longer lived close to one another. Maddie stated in an Instagram story in 2024 that she had a rigorous policy of no contact with some family members because of previous problems. Kody, however, charged Maddie with creating trouble and igniting controversy. Kody's statement that every time I talk to her, she spreads gossip about me to the rest of the family was surprising. Madd recently said something that seemed to be aimed at Kody. I deduced her feelings for her father from the cryptic words she shared on her Instagram stories. The statement in Madd's post, "Snake only sheds its skin to be a bigger snake," appeared to be her attempt to imply that Kody's recent acts of self-loathing and regret were a ruse to reclaim his position in the family. Sooner or later, the snake will bite, she added in her message, suggesting that Kody is acting like someone he is not and will harm those who pardon him. Let us know in your comments. And stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks everyone. In the latest season of Sister Wives, drama continues to unfold as Robyn Brown is thrust into the spotlight once again. This time, it's not just her relationships with Kody and the other wives that are being questioned, but also her role as a mother and partner. Robyn finds herself exposed in a way she never anticipated, revealing tensions at home that have been bubbling beneath the surface. Kody's ongoing struggles with Robyn, particularly his tendency to pick fights over trivial matters, adds fuel to an already tense environment. Whether it's disagreements about the kids or issues that seem trivial to outsiders, it's clear that Kody's frustrations with Robyn are becoming harder to ignore. These petty squabbles have a ripple effect on the entire family dynamic, leaving Robyn to navigate both her relationship with Kody and her role as a mother. As the drama unfolds, viewers see Robyn caught in a whirlwind of emotions, trying to hold everything together while Kody's frustrations mount. Her attempts to protect her children and maintain a semblance of peace seem to be slipping away as the pressure mounts, leaving fans questioning how much longer these toxic cycles can continue. All from U.S.A shows. Kody Brown. Related. For you, recently uploaded.